This is the Paranormal Report. Welcome to the Paranormal Report. I'm Jim.
I'm Dar. How are you? What's new?
I am doing well. We had a great time last night at our spooky studio event. It was a lot of fun. That was our spooky studio net, and a bunch of our Plus Club members were over there, and we had a great time. So I'm feeling energized.
Much better day today, thanks to them, actually. They actually did lift my mood. I was having a horrible day yesterday, and going there last night and seeing everybody and talking to everyone, I don't know, it does. It re-energizes you a little bit, makes you feel better about life.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those quick check-in nets where people come on and just talk about what's going on in their world, what the weather's like. It's a lot of fun. We're going to have another one. Actually, Dara, I'm looking at the calendar here. Mm-hmm. What do you think about, I'm going to just throw this out. What time did we do our last one, the last morning one? Because we've been alternating between morning and evening.
That was
at noon.
Eastern time.
So let me ask you, how does May 20th at noon strike you? Would that work?
I believe so. Have you checked your calendar?
I am looking at it right now. We are truly, so our next spooky studio net. Yeah.
We're doing it live.
Our next spooky studio net for our Plus members will be Wednesday, May 20th. So looking forward to that. And I think
stay tuned. Go to virtualcampfiregroup.com to get the specifics. And again, we will set up a special secret URL for you guys to log in. If you're not a Plus Club member, Jim, what are they missing? They're missing stuff.
They're missing thousands of episodes. You know, somebody said, and I got to get back to them, they said they canceled because it was all like old shows over and over. And it's like, no, I've done hundreds and hundreds of interviews that have never been on the free feeds. So I don't know what that person
and
was
even if they're talking about remastered episodes are only for a month. There are 4 other shows that are brand new every month. So I don't really understand that comment.
Whether you want something old, something new, something borrowed, or something blue, the Plus Club is your place. JimHarrell.com/plus.
Getting into wedding season, it's coming. So
there you go. And another important note that we need to talk about here.
Okay, not that.
Oh, I hit the wrong button.
You really do look like him today, though. Holy cow,
I really got it going on. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, no.
I'm modeling myself after Bob Dobbs. No, actually, this lower third right here, you see youtube.com/@JimDarTPR. That's youtube.com/@JimDarTPR. Now, you may ask, what in the world is that? Well, that is our new YouTube channel dedicated specifically to this show, because we found out that mixing the different shows together hurts our YouTube channel, hurts this show, and I feel like this show should be much bigger on YouTube than it is. So we think busting it out on its separate channel, the Paranormal Report channel, will be a good thing. Unfortunately, that URL was taken by someone. So we just decided on youtube.com/@JimDarTPR. So if you're a YouTube person, please go over there, subscribe to the channel, and never miss an episode. What say you, Dar?
Oh, it's a great little rhyme. If you think about it, it's so easy to get to. So @JimDarTPR. So so don't type Paranormal Report in, because for some reason that's not going to come up. Somebody
it might come up on a search, but don't put it in the URL bar, because it won't come up on the URL. I don't know what this is.
So put in @ JimDar TPR.
Yeah. That's our handle on YouTube. And,
our handle.
I'll make it real brief, but I just don't think that YouTube is doing small creators any favor these days. And they're really focusing on the big mega brands and the cool and the hip.
Mega money.
People like us are left behind. So hopefully this will play nice with their algorithm, and they'll give us a chance and show us to a few people. We'll see what happens.
We'll find out. It's just a nice little experiment. You always have to do things to keep things fresh. You have to keep growing. You have to try things. I think that happens to a lot of people. They just say, "Oh, it's not working. That's it."
No,
and you can't do that. You have to try. You have to come up with new ideas and try new things. And that's with anything in life.
That's
not just content creation. It's with anything. Something's not working. Go to plan B. Try something else.
Persevere. There you
That's
go.
right.
There you go.
Amen.
Well, I'll tell you.
What else is persevering?
Well, I'll tell you someone who is persevering, and that is Representative Paulina Luna. And now she has promised to hold a press conference. This is from Newsweek.com, talking about what she described as materials or information of, quote, non-human origin. And she, of course, chairs that House Oversight Task Force on the declassification of federal secrets. And, you know, she's been really an advocate for this all along, very much so. And she says this. She said, I have seen evidence in a SCIF that leads me to believe there are things we cannot explain. I have observed things that are of non-human origin and creation. That's my opinion. This was on the podcast Podforce One. Great name. Podcast hosted by Miranda Devine. And later in the interview, Luna said, when it's declassified, I will have a press conference and I will show you exactly what we saw. Luna went on to say, I don't call them aliens. I don't know what these things are that they're using, right? But I think that there's been stuff that we have witnessed as members of Congress, been briefed on, that we cannot explain. So she thinks after this happens, I think that the American people will have many of their questions answered. So, I mean, you know, kudos to her.
I don't think so for that, but
I mean, I'd actually seen something on Twitter. I didn't even tell you Twitter/X. That somebody said that there's going to be a release on May 14th. Now, we'll see. Anytime there was supposed to be this deadline that she had where we're supposed to see those videos. I haven't seen any videos.
2 weeks.
Now, I don't think it's on her, but my point is we hear these dates floated. There's going to be this and there's going to be that. I remember the one guy was saying Trump was going to have a big speech by such and such I don't know. I take these deadlines with a grain of salt. I'll believe it when I see it. I believe there is something going on. But as I've said before, and people reiterated in the comments, I'll be more surprised if they disclose anything than the actual existence of aliens or interdimensional beings. I think that's very possible. But the fact that we'll be told about it, they'll find some excuse. You know, I got to think, here's my conspiracy hat, right?
Ooh, I'm affecting you now.
Okay, I don't think I told you that. Well, you heard about this horrible thing, this hantavirus on the cruise ship, right? Mm-hmm. I'm like, now the UFO stuff is about to be released, and now we hear that there's another possible horrible pandemic on the way. They haven't said that it's going to be a pandemic, but sounds very scary if there's human-to-human transmission.
But they don't know.
Yeah, they don't know that, but the fatality rate's like 38%, so it makes COVID look like child's play if that would happen. I think,
well, that wouldn't was Gene Hackman's wife, right? Is that what she died from?
Yeah. So wouldn't it be interesting? You know, they're just about ready to release the UFO files. And, we have another pandemic. I mean, again, this is where my mind, I'm trying to control myself and not be conspiratorial. But
I don't buy into that one, and I'll tell you why. Because the topic of UFOs anyway is so divisive, however you want to say it. It doesn't matter because you're going to have the skeptics and you're going to have the other people. Oh, what is this malarkey? What is this? You know what? Who cares? Why are they releasing this? They're not releasing anything. You'll have the diehards that'll be like, tell us more. And they're just going to dangle a little, like a little carrot in front of us. They're not going to tell us everything. So I don't really think that they're going to use a possible pandemic, whatever, to thwart this. I don't think anyone cares enough. I think most people in the US and maybe in the world are just like, oh my God, they're just a bunch of kooks. Go away. Who cares about this stuff? I don't think it's earth-shattering enough that they would create a big diversion like that. There'll be other diversions possibly, but I don't know. I don't subscribe to that conspiracy.
It did. I don't really necessarily believe that, but it did cross my mind. Because I still think, I'm not going to get into it.
We're not gonna get the answers that we want. And like you said, we'll be more shocked if they actually do disclose, like really disclose information versus the fact that we think they exist because we know they exist.
Yeah.
There's too many unexplained things that happen in our world. Too many unexplained things from not only from aliens, but like time slips. And I mean, there's all kinds of things that are going on. And you see this every week when you are recording phone calls for Campfire, people have these experiences, okay?
I had a guy last night, we'll talk about him, but he had the case of the missing ribs.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this story.
Wow.
This is freaky.
Wow. Yeah, it was pretty wild. It was pretty wild. I think that's going to have to be on this week's show. So you have a story. Yeah, and cheese is involved too.
And cheese, my favorite.
Cheese and ribs. I love cheese and ribs. Maybe not together.
I don't know about together. Not cheesy ribs, I don't think.
No.
I don't know.
This next story talks about the CIA. Uh-oh.
Yes.
I'm on some kind of list now. Go ahead and tell us what happened.
Sure we are. But this goes back to Paulina Luna. She announced Wednesday that the task force on the declassification of federal secrets will hold a hearing on the Cold War era MK Ultra program. And this is going to happen on May 13th, so a week from today. If you're not familiar with the CIA's MK Ultra program, it was conducted from 1953 to 1964. It was aimed to develop procedures and drugs for interrogations, weakening individuals, and forcing confessions through brainwashing and psychological torture. By the way, this article is from thedailymail.com. Luna had pushed to restart congressional hearings on the matter in February, but they kind of, you know what they do. Just like she told them she wanted 2 weeks on the other stuff. She hasn't gotten what she wanted. But the renewed focus has placed the CIA's MK Ultra program back under the microscope, particularly because of its use of drugs, hypnosis, and psychological testing on human subjects, as well as the death of one of its scientists. So it was a story, Jim. I don't know if you're familiar. Dr. Frank Olson. He was a biological warfare scientist.
Yep.
Yeah, he was dosed. I guess he didn't know. Covertly dosed with LSD at a meeting, and he died 9 days later because he fell out of his hotel room. Yeah, they declared it a suicide.
Fell out of his hotel room.
They declared it a suicide. The family's like, he was murdered. So they're saying there was 144 projects were carried out under this MK Ultra thing, and Luna wants some answers, and she wants to open this up, and I'm kind of curious. So this is where my conspiratorial mind comes from, because why are we opening this up in light of all these current missing or dead scientists, correct?
Yeah.
Was there some kind of derivation of MK Ultra program that's going on with the propulsion stuff and the scientists that are currently missing? I don't know if anyone else in the media has said this, but that's my 2 cents. I'm just curious why this is becoming open now, since it was in the 50s and 60s.
Well, you're not the only one interested in the dead scientists. Apparently there is a new name, and none other than another congressperson, Representative Eric Burleson, has added a new name to the list of scientists whose deaths or disappearances he feels deserve further scrutiny. This, again, is from Newsweek. He specifically pointed out NASA engineer Joshua LeBlanc. And he posted on X recently, he said, a new name for the list. A young scientist named Joshua working on the nuclear propulsion technology we'd need to reach Mars. Just turned up dead in a Tesla crash after his car drove 2 hours by itself on rural Missouri-style back roads. Burleson posted, body burnt beyond recognition. This is not normal. And apparently Mr. LeBlanc, he was 29. He was an electrical engineer in Huntsville, Alabama, and worked on nuclear propulsion projects at NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center. And he was reported missing in July 2025. His family was concerned he had been abducted, which is kind of an odd thing. And then they did later that day discover his Tesla. So again, who knows? But the fact, I've got to say this. These are Congress people who are bringing up these issues. Now, again, you can agree or disagree with them politically, but you would think if somebody has risen to the level of congressperson, they have a certain amount of gravitas. So, it's different than if you or I say it. This person is one of the most powerful people in the country, and they're saying it. It's like, and along with that, I go, people like Burchett and stuff. I just don't think they say these things entirely lightly. They've got some knowledge or some inkling that something's going on. So it just gets curiouser and curiouser, as they say.
So
curiouser and curiouser.
Let me understand this. So his family reported him. They thought he was abducted.
They were concerned that he was abducted. Yes. Before he was discovered.
And what do we know about Tesla? So Tesla, you can program a car, right, to go a certain way into self-drive, correct?
Right. Now the question is if you can do that.
And the body
I think
was
what you're
burnt
hinting at
beyond recognition. The body was burnt beyond recognition.
Well, the thing is that electrical cars, whether you like the idea of electric cars or not, they are like power pack. They can easily explode. I mean, not easily explode, but if they're in a crash, they're way more a fire risk than a regular conventional internal combustion engine. They even had to train a lot of the firefighters how to fight them because they're battery fires, so they burn more intensely, they burn longer, they're harder to put out. So that doesn't really surprise me, that part of it.
No.
But I guess what you're hinting at is, could somebody have hacked the car and made it do things that would have basically put it out of control?
Here's what I'm even going a step further. Had he been drugged, murdered, something happened, maybe he was abducted, they did something to him and stuffed him in the car and then had the car go.
Oh, wow.
I would like to know if they could do an autopsy to determine what the cause of death.
I don't.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It was burnt. Somebody knew this is a great way to get rid of him, and they won't know that we abducted him and killed him. That's just where my mind could go. One possibility. It's not, and I feel so bad because I don't know if the family is ever going to find that out, what happened, really happened to him. And he's 29. He was 29, and it's sad, sad, sad. And I'm so sick of this stuff that's going on.
Well, the thing is, the fact that they were concerned he was abducted, and there really wasn't a lot of detail given to that. I wonder why they would think that. Had he said
maybe because of the previous scientists that
or maybe
have
it was
gone,
something totally. Maybe we're jumping.
It could be. Yes,
it's totally.
It could be.
Either way, our sympathies go out to family and to family. All of these scientists. When we talk about these things, I don't. It's not funny. It's not a joke. It's not. It's sad.
It's concerning.
Whether it's just happening in the normal course of life that some people die, but I don't know if like a sudden rash of paranormal podcasters end up dead. Wouldn't you think? And let's hope that doesn't happen. But the point, when
shut
you
up.
think,
what are you doing? Throwing that out into the universe. Stop. We've already talked about it. You killed our printer by doing that. So shh.
Right. But the point is, any walk of life, okay, let's say insurance agents or whatever, and they all like at very young ages seem to die under mysterious circumstances. Your mind goes to what in the heck's going on? And particularly all these people seem to be working in similar or adjacent areas. And we also reported, recently that it's happening in China too. So, very strange.
Yeah, I just
strange indeed.
People who say there's not a pattern, I don't understand how you don't think there's a pattern. 3 of them worked at the same place on the same things, and other 2 were part of the other. There's a pattern. Sorry. Yep. I don't know. There's a pattern. Whether it's actually something nefarious, I don't know. I just hope that they can actually, we know they're not going to really get to the bottom of it. And if they do, they're not telling us. That's for sure.
Point. Good point. So you have an update.
We got breaking news.
Yeah.
We got breaking news.
For a while we were all that, what was that Avi Loeb thing? We had a report every week on them, on that thing.
3i Atlas.
Yeah, 3i Atlas. Really. Yeah, which kind of, and then
that kind of went away, and everybody just kind of shut up about it.
Now every week,
they still don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Every week lately, it's been the scientists, but we had another one in the middle there that we had on almost every week, and now there's an update. The Conjuring House. There is a legal update.
There is. April 29th, they went to court. Superior Court judge decided to dismiss the lawsuit that was blocking the sale of this Conjuring House in Burrillville. So this I like the word that the Providence Journal uses, seemingly clearing the way for the sale. And of course, if you're not familiar, Jason Hawes from the star of Ghost Hunters is the one who signed the deed and says he owns it, and he says he can close the deal, and he says right now it looks like we can. And, you know, his lawyer, Nicole Laban, says this changes things substantially. Jason already owns the property. And the suit that the judge dismissed was brought by the sister of Jacqueline Nunez, who owns the house, Elizabeth Greenhall of Utah. She's still alleging her sister's not mentally competent to sell the house. But the judge said that she doesn't have the legal standing to file the lawsuit on her sister's behalf. And even if Nunez is mentally ill, the only person who could sue on her behalf is a legally appointed guardian. However, that she has that going in court, and the date's not come. The date, I forgot when it's coming up. So that trial hasn't even happened yet. I think it's happening. Wait a minute, today. I think it might be happening today, May 6th.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she has a case, and then I thought this was so interesting. Julia DeMay. Okay, she's a woman that has been described as a friend of Nunez. She filed a similar petition in Boston to get guardianship, but she's also only for the purpose of a single transaction. It's to handle the sale of the Conjuring House. What they failed to say in this article is she's the one that's been working with Hawes so that Hawes can get the sale. So, I mean, we don't have any ulterior motives there. Anyway, so he's like, you know, but here's what the article goes on to say. What's keeping him from closing the deal? The biggest roadblock is on the sale is that whoever holds the mortgage won't supply Hawes with the amount that must be paid to satisfy the mortgage. And that's believed to be about $1.2 million. Because that's what Nunez borrowed from the bank in 2022. And Needham Bank said it sold the mortgage to Summit and Stone, who was a company formed by YouTuber Elton Castee in conjunction with Matt Rife. So this is getting really, really interesting. If you go to Jason Hawes' GoFundMe page, he makes it like it's clear they're buying it. That's it. But the thing that he does not state in his lovely page for trying to continue to raise money is that the judge dismissed this case, quote, without prejudice, meaning that it can be refiled if things changed, i.e. maybe Greenhall does get guardianship of her sister Nunez. So it's not clear completely. It's without prejudice. So it's still pending. Things can still happening. There's another lawsuit. There something to resolve an error from Needham Bank that canceled the mortgage, clouding whether Summit and Stone could now hold the mortgage. That's still pending in Superior Court too. So it's not cleared.
Well, we're not taking sides. Whoever wins, wins. It's up to the legal system. I don't care who owns the house,
to be honest with you. I really don't.
So we'll see what happens. We just want to be here to tell you what's going on, and you decide. So that's what's going on. You decide. So next up, Area 51. Always so much speculation. Sometimes it kind of turns into the comedic, and those kind of things. But it is an odd place, and we know that weird things go on there and experiments we don't know. And something else unusual has happened lately. And there have been a string of earthquakes near Area 51. Get this. As many as 17 individual earthquakes were detected in the vicinity of Area 51 recently. There were a swarm of 17 earthquakes up to a magnitude of 4.4 suddenly hit just a few miles from the base. And people are wondering, people are saying that, hey, what is the deal? Is this something going on? Because apparently, and the first story there was, let me get this right, was from unexplained-mysteries.com. This one's from the Daily Mail. And the Daily Mail piece said, and I think this is interesting, they were recorded in an area not typically known for frequent seismic activity. And they also talked about the shallow depth of the strongest quake, roughly just miles underground, a detail that geophysicist Stephen Burns said made the event particularly noteworthy. And he added, Burns added, that earthquakes and underground explosions can sometimes produce similar seismic signatures, especially when energy was released suddenly beneath the surface. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. What's happening?
So the other thing that somebody said on X.
They're destroying evidence so they don't have to disclose it.
Somebody said that on X.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah, they basically say, with the UFO files coming out, they're destroying stuff, or they're it has something to do with that.
Oh, that's so funny. My mind went with their mind. That's exactly what I thought right away.
Yeah,
I'm like, they're destroying evidence.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Again, I think with something like that, assuming, and maybe it has nothing to do with the UFO question, but the idea that maybe there's some kind of experiments or something going on underground, I don't think that's conspiratorial at all. It's Area 51, people. That's what they do. Like weird secret stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, weird secret stuff. So I think it's actually
just like bury their head in the sand and not realize like what's really going on in the world. Like they just think whatever they're being told is what they're being told. Please use your brains. There's other stuff going on. And I'm not just talking aliens or UFOs or any ghosts. But there are experiments going on we don't know about everything. Come on, people. Don't be so naive.
Just ask this guy.
There you go. Does he ask questions?
Just ask a question.
We're going to have to do something. I'm going to have to come up there and like muss up your hair or something because, oh my, it's getting real. Even like the highlights of it are starting now.
Yeah, I'm morphing into Bob.
No, I think his chin's a little more square than yours.
Yeah.
Yeah. His face is a little longer.
Well, he's thinner. I'm working on that, though.
You are doing well.
All right. Well, this is an interesting next thing coming up. You have about a celebrity. Yes. Tell us about that one.
Yeah. Goldie Hawn was on a late night television show recently in an interview, and she claims that she had an extraterrestrial encounter. She says she was in her late teenage years working as a dancer in California when she had an alien encounter. So prior to this, though, she remembers once she says she looked up into the sky and explained she wanted to meet them one day. She's like, I want to meet you one day. Right. And she said, I know you're up there and I know we're not alone and I want to meet you one day, she recalled. 3 months later, she was dancing. She became very sleepy. She asked a friend if she could lie down in the back seat of her car just to rest. And she said, quote, I heard a high-pitched sound in my ear and I remember looking at my hand and my body and I couldn't move anything. I was completely paralyzed. She explained that she could see small figures outside of her car staring at her with triangular-shaped heads and communicating via sound rather than words. 2 people looking at me with triangular-shaped heads, sort of silver color, she added. Quote, I suddenly remembered they touched my face. It was the most benevolent touch. It was like the finger of God.
Wow.
Yeah. And she said she became like emotional while she was recalling these events. And she wasn't sure at first. She thought maybe she was having a dream. But years later, when she was like reading about a lot of these encounters that people have had, she said a lot of those features were the same as her own experience, like the paralysis and the high-pitched noises. And it was just common. And she ended up seeing an astrophysicist to kind of help her explain and understand what happened. Yeah. And I guess her partner, Kurt Russell, also had an alien encounter. He reported the lights over Phoenix.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I didn't know that was in this story, but I was going to mention it. Yes.
Yeah. He saw the 6 lights over the airport in a uniform in a V shape. Yeah. So there you go. Don't you guys find it way interesting that like all these people are starting to come out of the woodwork that are popular now and they're saying, oh, well, yeah, so they're trying to make it more mainstream. It's not as kooky anymore.
But I mean, it could also be
Goldie's kooky, but.
Well, here's the thing that I'm thinking is that in this case, for example, I don't think Goldie Hawn is a part of a massive conspiracy. More likely, maybe she's more comfortable sharing it now. For the longest time, people have been comfortable saying, I saw a ghost. I mean, I think we've gotten to the point where maybe 30, 40 years ago, that would have been considered kind of wacky. But a celebrity will go on to a talk show and say that they've seen a ghost like,
yeah, but it's always followed
business.
With laughter. I mean, look at the whole Tina Fey, Amy Poehler thing.
But still, they will say it. But them saying a UFO, is another thing. And think about this, Goldie Hawn definitely has more of her career behind her than she has in front of her.
True.
So now she doesn't have to worry about her career so much because, she's in, I'm not trying to be mean, but she's in her twilight years. So maybe that's part of it too. Just a quick sidebar. We watched that movie Song Sung Blue with her daughter, Kate Hudson. Highly recommended. Highly recommended.
We sat there and for most of the movie and could not believe, we thought they were really the people. That's how well the acting was in I mean, it was just
and musically,
so good.
It was great. And Kate Hudson did a great job singing. Didn't know she was capable of that. Great job singing.
Fantastic.
And Hugh Jackman, I expected because he has that musical background and we've seen him in other movies and things in doing that. But they were both great. It was a great movie.
Taught himself guitar.
Yeah. And very convincing. Yeah. Very well done.
Convincing.
Very well done.
Very well done. Yep.
Yeah,
now we want to watch the
recommended.
Real documentary based on those that real couples.
Lightning and Thunder. Lightning and Thunder.
Yes.
Yeah, indeed.
Yes. Well, speaking of which.
yes. Well,
there's an article. So.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I believe
someone
I am
died.
next.
It is. You are next. Someone died.
Yes. Who died? Well, a NASA scientist, but this has nothing to do with the other NASA scientist. But Ingrid Honkala, she's an oceanographer who has worked with NASA, said she had 3 near-death experiences, and they all were very similar at ages 2, 25, and 52. She said, while the circumstances around this in the Daily Mail, the circumstances of each were different, kind of the result was the same. She said she entered a strange state of complete calm with no fear, no sense of time, and a feeling of separating from her physical body, and she became pure awareness. And she said she was in a vast interconnected consciousness filled with light, clarity, and peace. And, she's a woman of science, but she said this was not a hallucination. This was real. And she said, instead of fear, a deep calm came over her. The panic disappeared and was replaced by an overwhelming sense of peace and stillness. And she talked about her childhood encounter or situation. She said, at that moment, I no longer felt like a child in the body, but like pure consciousness, a field of awareness and light. And it's really interesting to me when you have a woman of science like this coming out and saying, hey, I'm a woman of science, but there's also this part, and they're not incompatible. In fact, I'm seeing here that she has a book coming up, Dying to See the Light, A Scientist's Guide to Reawakening. So I'm hoping we can get her on one of the shows. I think she would be a great guest.
Hope we could get somebody on one of these shows. Nobody's answering me back.
Well, we have some good guests coming up. We have some very good guests.
We do.
Although we've had a couple of interviews right now that are great, but they have books coming out, and it's not weeks or months. So we're sitting on these interviews like, these are great interviews, but we can't put them out yet. But
no, we cannot.
But I think I doubly, not that I don't believe when a, quote, true believer tells me a story or something. Of course I do. But when a scientist comes and said, look, I am totally a person scientist, but there's also this other thing. That just resonates with me. I really appreciate
I respect that. Because why does it have to be either or? That's my problem with everything.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be either or. It can be and. Oh my goodness, what a novel concept. It can be and. You can be a person of science and yet you could still be spiritual and believe. So those things I don't feel like need to be separated.
Mutually exclusive, That's
right.
True. I agree.
Yeah, so
well, your next story, last week on the Paranormal Podcast, we had a really interesting show with Carmen Turner-Schott on astrology. If you haven't had a chance to check that out, make sure you check out the Paranormal Podcast. We always have such great guests over there. Mm-hmm. Been doing it for almost 21 years. Next month will be our 21st anniversary of that. So check it out.
Check out Naja Lightfoot this week on the Paranormal Podcast.
Haunted dolls and spiritual magic of dolls. Yeah, very good stuff.
She is stuff. I just loved this interview. She was and her personality is just like so infectious. Her smile is so infectious. It resonated a lot with me. I don't know. She's got such good energy, and
she does.
So I highly recommend you see it, and you did a great job. So,
thank you.
Yeah, as usual. It was a good interview. Check it out. But last week was astrology,
and you have a story about astrology now.
I do, from livescience.com.
Hey.
Very interesting. So there's an author, Carlos Orsi. He examined a 2007 study of 20 million people. So this is like a great large data set that showed star signs have no influence on romantic relationships. So they said, if astrological compatibility exists, its effects should be observable, right? And, they give a little bit of history of how it goes on. And he's got a book out now. It's called What Science Says About Astrology. So that might be interesting, too, to see if we could get him on the show, too, because we just talked about how science, So he looked at this study. He wanted to test whether your star sign has a role in who you pick as a romantic partner and how compatible are you. So it's the most robust use of data to test astrology. It was conducted by David Voas in 2007, 20 million people from the 2001 census from England and Wales. And his hypothesis he was testing was that certain sun signs are more compatible for romantic relationships, right? Apparently this has gone back to like Carl Jung and his work. So very interesting. So, and everybody has that appeal. You always want to look at your star sign. Oh, are we compatible? And they talk about the book Love Signs by Linda Goodman.
Yep. That's a famous one.
It is. It's still being reprinted and sold 30 years after her death. And, because signs separated on the zodiac wheel by angles of 60 degrees and 120 degrees are considered favorable for love, while those separated by 180 degrees are seen as extremely incompatible. Right angles also tend to be interpreted as bad omens. We know from everyday experience, massive social scientific data, people who are in a similar age, education, social class, religion, ethnicity, so on, are far more likely to marry than those who are different in these respects, right? So, but anyway, Orsi looked at all of this data and came up with, no. Basically, so he's saying in a sample composed of 10 million couples, this should result in an excess of 10,000 formed by people with compatible signs above and beyond what would be expected if astrology had no effect, right? And it was just trying to see but there was no great consistency. And so it didn't matter. People with the same sign or adjacent signs were just as compatible. So, it was a very interesting article. You could go through it. It gets into the real science and a lot of the data and the statistics. And yeah.
There you have it.
We have to see, where are we on this? On the thing. It won't matter because we're going to be married 30 years in a mere...
it worked out. It worked out.
In a mere 12 days.
But I do think you were talking about that compatibility. I mean, we were brought up differently in many ways, but the same in many ways. A lot of the same values, I feel. Yeah,
I mean, culturally, it was very different. Your family is from southern U.S., and I got all Italiano. Hey, what's the matter with you, paisan?
But a lot of the same values, a lot of the same beliefs.
And it was kind of weird when we first met, how we were like, oh, your family does that too? Or your family believes in that too? Yeah.
It
was interesting.
And I always point out my dad's family was from a coal town in West Virginia, which had a huge Italian population. So I don't know if that rubbed off but maybe that's part of it too. Who knows?
Yeah.
Well, this next thing, I think this is interesting, and you could look at this two different ways. There's this news out from military.com that the CIA used vampiric folklore to intimidate Filipino insurgents in the 50s. Basically, if you followed Cold War politics at all, you know there was this death struggle between the United States and communism. And in societies that had democracy, the Soviets or their proxies would basically fund these insurgents who were basically communists. And the U.S. would do in fairness, the U.S. would do similar things in communist countries, try to foment revolution in the other direction. So it was like this death struggle. So apparently what the CIA did in the 1950s, and this is actually quite a kind of ingenious in a maniacal kind of way, they would use psychological warfare tactics against the hook fighters. And what they would do is they would capture and kill an insurgent, and the body was altered to resemble an attack by an aswang, including puncture wounds to the neck and the apparent draining of blood. Then they would take the body of the dead person, place them along a path used by other insurgents with the intent of convincing them that a zombie or a supernatural vampiric force was targeting their group. Reports indicate the fighters abandoned the area after encountering the body, suggesting that the tactic succeeded in creating fear and disrupting insurgent activity. So they said that actually this kind of situation reflected am I interrupting you from something there? You look like you're looking at something.
No, I had to look something up for the next story.
Okay. All right.
I thought of something and it was wrong.
All right. That's okay. That's okay. Well, anyway, this reflected a belief that insurgencies could be deflated not only through force, but also by shaping public perception and influencing the behavior of fighters and civilians. Hearts and minds, hearts and minds. But the thing is that now, here, if the skeptics hear this in relation to the UFOs, and there was a report last year in the Wall Street Journal about this, what they're going to say, aha, see? Basically, what is being done here is being done with UFOs, and it's all a plant, and it's all a hoax. In fact, one of the other articles that I read today or talked about today had a section in it that talked about that I think it was a Wall Street Journal report where, false UFO sightings have been fed to hide a secret weapons program, which really had nothing to do with the story. So they'll take something like that. Yeah.
They're like trying to change.
So they will
opinion.
take something like this and say, aha, see, the CIA and various governments use misinformation. The whole UFO thing is misinformation. See? And let me say this. Let me say this about that.
Let me say this about that.
That's a deep cut. Only you get that. But anyway, the point is that yes, they do use disinformation for various things. And do they use them in connection with UFOs? Absolutely. And do they use it to possibly hide secret military programs and other things? Absolutely. Does that mean that there aren't interdimensional beings, or there aren't aliens, or there aren't things visiting us? Absolutely not. Because as you said before, two things can be true at the same time.
Yes,
and
they
I
can.
think the debunkers and the skeptics, what they use is a grain of truth, some truth, and they say, aha, case closed, mystery solved, let's move on. So,
yeah, and then they get the majority to believe, because those people don't ask questions. They're just spoon-fed. Well, they told me. So what that they told you? Who told you? Like, did you look into it? Did you read anything alternative to that? That's the part, like, read both sides of any argument. Hello. Then form your own opinion.
Right.
But and look, okay, I am also not stupid. I don't think we are owed every iota of information that's out there about everything.
No.
But having said that, I think they can be a little more transparent with us. I think we can handle it. I think many of us are smart enough that we can handle the truth and information. You know what I'm saying? It's like
you can't handle the truth.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know. Just a little more transparency would be so much appreciated in some of these things, and stop these debunkers from, stop doing that. I don't know.
Yeah,
just
and I'm thoroughly convinced if there are significant revelations that come from the government in the next month or so, that the debunkers will say exactly what you said. Well, they didn't do this, they didn't do this, they didn't show us the bodies, whatever. This is all a bunch of BS. That's what's going to come back.
Move on. That's nothing. See, we told you.
Speaking of a bunch of BS, this is pretty disturbing, this next story. Don't mess around with Megan Thee Stallion fans. That's all I've got to say.
No. So I was not aware of this. I did not follow what's going on. I don't know a lot about, I know of her. I don't know her music. I'm not, I hear little bits every now and then. That's not my thing. But Megan Thee Stallion was dating Klay Thompson, basketball player, NBA player. Is he currently with Dallas? I think
I'm not sure.
That's what I was looking up. Did he play with the Lakers, right?
No, he played with Golden State. Remember all those?
Yes. Steph Curry. Hello.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's what I couldn't figure out. And then I had another wrong premise.
And he's with the Mavs now. He's with the Mavs now. You're right.
That's what I said. So Dallas. Okay. But I thought, anyway, I thought he was dating somebody. I thought he was dating one of the Kardashians at one point because they like to date NBA players, but he was not, as far as I can tell. But anyway, Megan Thee Stallion, Klay Thompson were dating. They dated about 6 months. And she dumped him recently. Yeah, after less than a year. And she told TMZ, "I've made the decision to end my relationship with Klay. Trust, fidelity, and respect are non-negotiable for me in a relationship. Go girl. And when those values are compromised, there's no real path forward. I'm taking this time to prioritize myself and move ahead with peace and clarity." But she also wrote, she wrote things earlier than this. I'm sure that's her PR team that came out and said that, because prior to that, she wrote, quote, "Cheating, had me around your whole family playing house, got cold feet. Holding you down through all your horrible mood swings and treatment towards me during your basketball season. Now you don't know if you can be monogamous." Oof. Yeah. So her fans are very, very upset about this, and they don't like that he cheated on her. And her fans are called hotties, where Tay-Tays are Swifties. Hers are called hotties. And so hotties got on Etsy, and they've been paying witches to curse Klay Thompson and put revenge on him.
Oh my! So,
yikes! One fan wrote, "Currently talking to my friends on the other side, and the Etsy witches have been called. Klay Thompson, you're done." And put it near a video of a woman stabbing a voodoo doll courtside.
Oh my Lord!
They're getting. Somebody else wrote, "Klay Thompson, your Achilles tendons will begin to ache in 3 days. Just paid an Etsy witch.
Oh my gosh.
You will be dealt with."
Oh my gosh.
People were going on and on. Oh my. "Do any of you practice witchcraft?" Another asked. "I need Klay Thompson to wake up with deer legs by tomorrow morning."
Oh my Lord. That's not nice. I mean, again,
it's not nice. Well, what he did was obviously not nice.
If he did, we don't know. If he did what she said he did, that's terrible. And I'm in full agreement. And he, within reason, he deserves to be broken up with. But putting curses on people, I want to make this clear. This is not against witches. I mean,
not at all.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, if people want to be a witch, fine by me. I mean, how many, we've done umpteen shows on the Witchcraft Museum, and I've done many shows with witches. So it's not anti-witch. I do think that if you have witches going out there putting curses on people, that does not align to my values. And I would assume would not align to many witches' values. You shouldn't go around putting curses on people.
I remember many of your interviews with witches, they talk about not doing that. That's not what their witchcraft is for.
And who knows? So. I mean, I don't want to speak to any specific person, but who knows if these people who are on these online services offering to put curses, is it just like, yeah, pay me $50 and I'll put a curse on, and they go cha-ching, and they're like, yeah, curses put on.
Like
you know what I mean?
Like the scammy psychics that are out there.
I mean, do you think maybe that's part of it too? I don't know. But
it could
don't
be.
do that.
I don't know.
Don't do that. All I've got to say is that I hope for Travis Kelce's sake, he sticks with Taylor. Because if he ever breaks with her,
wrath?
Oh, that guy, he won't be able to go anywhere. He won't be able to do anything. I think I saw something online. I don't know if it was AI, but he was in some ridiculous getup. I don't know if it was at the Met Gala or something.
Oh, maybe, probably.
I don't know. I gotta look this up, but it was just you can look it up too. It was just the most ridiculous thing, and it's like, why would this man wear this? It almost looked like what do you call it?
He likes doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
No, they skipped the Met Gala this year.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Okay, so all right. Well,
there was a Met Gala prank. Travis Kelce's friend was behind it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. That's just a headline from Kansas City.
But I just saw him walking with like some weird getup on, and then I saw some of Sam Smith, and I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe it was AI. Maybe, who knows? I mean, they could have me walking in a duck suit. I mean, you never know what you're going to see these days. But I was just like, why is he wearing that? That's kind of weird. But anyway.
You know what it was? This is why you got confused. One of his friends told everybody that was Travis Kelce, but it was Sam Smith.
Oh,
so the whole tweet went viral. The X post went viral because everybody thought it was Kelce.
Oh, okay. All right. I stand corrected.
People are like, good Lord, what happened to this man? Yeah. They were worried about Travis Kelce after seeing him at the Met Gala. It wasn't him, it was Sam Smith. So
okay, now we know.
You are correct. If the hotties are going after Klay Thompson like this, the Swifties would go insane. That would not be good.
Yeah, it would not be good.
On, people,
you know what?
Let's be nice.
If he did something like that,
that's their business. But
here's my belief. If somebody does something like that, I do believe for accountability in terms of like ultimate justice and, a little bit of karma mixed in there. Although I know that's an oversimplification for all the interviews I've done. But the point is that if you do that to somebody, you're going to get your payback down the road. You don't need anybody putting curses on you.
Exactly.
And maybe years from now, he's like, Megan Thee Stallion was the one, but I did her wrong. And assuming he did, we don't know. And I really regret that.
Well, he's remaining very quiet about all of her posts and everything. So if he didn't do it, don't you think he'd spare his name?
Who knows? I can't. I will not speculate. I will not speculate.
All I'm saying is, like my grandma used to say, but she did it in Italian, and I don't remember the Italian way. But spit up into heaven, and it comes right back down on you. Yeah. So
I wish no one ill. I wish no one ill.
Well, I'm not. I don't care what happens in this. I'm just saying sometimes when you treat people poorly, it comes back to you.
I was reiterating what you were saying. So anyway, let me reiterate this. Thank you for joining us today on the Paranormal Report. We appreciate it very much.
We do.
And hopefully you'll check out our other podcast, the Paranormal Podcast, where you do interviews like we talked about the Astrology one this week, the one about the spiritual magic of dolls with Naja Lightfoot, who was delightful. Of course, we have the Campfire, and you can submit your campfire stories over at jimharold.com/campfire. We would love to hear those and check those out as well. And of course, our Plus Club members love that Spooky Studio Net we did last night. And if you're not a member, become one. jimharold.com/plus, jimharold.com/plus. Do you have anything to add, Dar?
Also, just check out Jim's free virtual campfiregroup.com.
Virtualcampfiregroup.com, virtualcampfiregroup.com, yes.
It's a great place. Everybody's on there talking. We put polls up. Sometimes it's just general talk. Sometimes it's definitely paranormal. People share their stories, talk about the shows. It's a nice, great community over there. So we hope to see you there.
Indeed it is. Well, thank you for joining us today. We appreciate it. We hope you have a great week, and we will talk to you next time. And everybody, stay safe, and above all, stay spooky. Bye-bye.